Studentin. Studentin is actually a German word for students. I have seen somewhere else. So let's get started with the first question from quadratic equation. In this video, we are going to start quadratic equation. The first question is, the equation ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0 will no longer be a quadratic if some conditions are given along with that. Which one of them is correct? So wherever we see the standard form of quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, we find something written along with that here a is not equal to 0, and this is in the general form of quadratic equation or standard form of quadratic equation, and along with that always given that a is never 0. Why? If suppose if you consider a is equal to 0, then this quantity, that is a, will be 0, and it will be 0 into x squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, and this will make this total term 0, so it will be 0, and the remaining thing will be bx plus c is equal to 0. So here you can see that this is nothing but a linear equation. This is in the form of a linear equation. So we can say that if a is equal to 0, then this form will no longer be in quadratic. So that's all for this question. Let's move on to the next question. The real roots of the quadratic equation, the roots of the quadratic equation 3x squared minus 4x plus 3 is equal to 0 are. Here basically you have to find the nature of the roots of this equation. So nature of the roots, whenever we study, we find b squared minus 4ac, and if this quantity, that is this we call as discriminant, because it discriminates the roots, or if you find this as equal to 0, then we say roots are real and equal. And if we find it as, let's take it only d is greater than 0, then we say roots are real but distinct, or we say unequal. And if d is less than 0, then we say there will be no real roots. Real roots will not be found. In such case, we say roots will be imaginary. And let's check for this question, or this one. If we find b square minus 4ac from this equation, then b square is our minus 4 whole square minus 4ac. 4 into a is 3 and c is again 3. So if you find, we'll get something like 16 minus 3 3s are 9 and 9 4s are 36, and it will be minus 20, and minus 20 is less than 0, so roots will be imaginary. So imaginary is there an option? Yes, this is the option, and this is correct option. So that's all for this question. Let's move on to the next question. Which of the following is a solution of this quadratic equation? You can check one by one whether that number is a solution of the given quadratic equation. If you check for all these values, that whether they are one of the solutions of this quadratic equation, this will be a lengthy process, I think. So this is actually a simple equation, so we can find easily the roots of this equation. So let's find the roots of this equation. If we solve it, like, we can factorize it as x square minus 5 plus 1 x plus 5 equal to 0. It will now become x square minus 5x minus 1 x, or I should write it as x only, plus 5 equal to 0, and now it will become x. If we take x as common out, then remaining will be x minus 5, and there will be, if we take only 1 as common out, then we'll get with x minus 5. This minus and minus when multiplied will become plus. So that's it. And here we can see that x minus 5 into x minus 1 equal to 0, and so we can say that roots are 5 or 1. 5 is one of the roots, and 1 is another root. So we have an option like 5 is one of the roots, so this will be the answer. So that's all for this question. If the equation is quite simple, then you can solve it this way and you can find one of its solution. So let's move on to the next question that's all for this question. If x square plus 2kx plus 4 is equal to 0 has a root x is equal to 0, then k is equal to what? K is equal to which of one of the following? If x squared plus 2kx plus 4 is equal to 0 has a root x is equal to 0, there may be something fishy. Yes, there is a problem actually. This was 2. There was a typing mistake. This is 2x is equal to 2. Then we have to find the value of k. So make it 2x is equal to 2. And when x is equal to 2, then we can put x is equal to 2 in this equation. So let's make that change, and x square plus 2kx plus 4 is equal to 0. And if we put x is equal to 2, then we can get x square plus 2k2 plus 4 is equal to 0, and it will be 4 plus 4k plus 4 is equal to 0. And from this we can say that 4k is equal to minus 8, and this way you can find the value of k as minus 2. So this is the answer. Is there any option k is equal to minus 2? Yes, k is equal to minus 2. C is the correct answer. So that's all for this question. Let's move on to the next one. The positive root of square root of 3x square plus 6 is equal to 9. Let's find the root of this quadratic equation. So quadratic equation, that means we will have two roots and we will have to choose the positive one for answering this question. So let's find it. 3x squared plus 6 is equal to 9, and if we square both sides, then we will get x square plus 6 is equal to 9 square, and 9 square will be 81. So it will be 3x squared is equal to 81 minus 6, and it will be 3x squared minus 75. And if we write x square is equal to 75 divided by 3, we will get x square is equal to 25, and x is now nothing but plus minus square root of 25, and here we can get x is equal to plus minus 5. So one value will be positive 5 and other value will be negative 5. So we'll have to take the positive root of the given quadratic equation, so it is 5 plus 5. That's all for this question. Let's move on to the next question. The roots of ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0 are equal if d is equal to 0. Just we have discussed this question, and let's move on to the next one. The number of roots of x plus 2 whole cube is equal to x cube minus 4 is equal to 0 is the number of roots. It looks like this has a cube or power 3, so it will not always gonna get 3 roots. Remember, for solving this type of equation, do not bother to say straight away that it has particular number of roots as the degree of these equations are given. Actually, this is not degree. If you simplify one or more step, then the degree will gonna get changed. So let's simplify this equation first, and then we'll tell how many roots will be there. So equation is x plus 2 whole cube is equal to x cube minus 4. And if you simplify it, we will get x cube plus a plus b whole cube. Formula for x plus a plus b whole cube will be used here. X cube plus thrice a square b plus thrice ab square plus b cube is equal to x cube minus 4. And this time x cube and x cube will get cancelled. So the remaining thing is
3 multiplied by 2.
6 x square plus this 2 square will be 4, and 4 when multiplied to 3 will become 12x plus 2 cube is 8 and minus 4. And actually now we can say that it is nothing but a quadratic equation. Let's simplify one more step for changing into the standard form of quadratic equation. So we can say that this will be 6x square plus 12x plus 12 is equal to 0, and it will be x square plus 2x plus 2 is equal to 0. And here the degree of this equation is 2, so it will be a quadratic equation, so it will have a 2 root. It will have 2 root. So that's all for this question. Let's move on to the next question. And the question is, for what value of k the quadratic equation, this quadratic equation has equal roots? We know for two equal roots, discriminant of a quadratic equation is always equal to 0. Discriminant must be 0, and discriminant is nothing but b square minus 4ac, and it must be 0. And here if we find the discriminant of this equation and putting it as equal to 0, because we are finding the value of k for which the quadratic equation will have equal roots. Okay, so we'll be putting b square minus 4ac. So b will be our 4 root 3 here. Here you can see that 4 root 3 b, and it will be squared minus 4ac. 4 a is nothing but 4, and c is nothing but k itself, is equal to 0. Now squaring these equations, these quantities will get 16, and root 3 and square will get cancelled, and we will be left with 3 only. Minus 4 4s are 16, so it will be 16k is equal to 0, and this way you can get 48 is equal to 16k. This is 16k, and now we can get 48 divided by 16 is equal to k, and therefore k is equal to 3. Is there any option left with? Yes, this is the option. That's all. Now let's move on to the next question. And the question is, the roots of the quadratic equation, this equation, are equal if. So just now we have seen that discriminant gets equal to 0, value of the discriminant. So b square minus 4ac, this is the condition for having equal roots. So b square minus 4ac must be 0. If we put them here, b is 1 square minus 4ac, a is a itself, and c is b, must be equal to 0. So this will be 1, and whole these quantities will be moved to the other side. So 1 is equal to 4 ab, and here we can see that 1 divided by 4 is nothing but ab, and this type of equation is given to us as an option. So this is the answer. Ab is equal to 1 by 4. Let's move on to the next question, and this will be the last question for this chapter. Which of the following has no real roots? And we have the condition for having no real roots by quadratic equation is that discriminant must be less than 0. And here we'll have to find the discriminant of all of these actually, and the one having this value of discriminant less than 0 will be the equation which has no real roots. So we will check one by one. So let's find the discriminant of the first one. So d is equal to b square minus 4 ac, and here b is, you can see that, minus 4 ac, a is 1, here it is 1, and c is this quantity, and c is 3 root 2. Okay, so it will be 16 minus 4 3s are 12 into root 2, that is 12 root 2. And here we can see that 4 minus 12 will become something like 4, but if we multiply the value of root 2 to 12, then we can get something else actually. So let me tell you, 16 minus, if we find the value of root 2, then we can get 12 into 1.414, and when these quantities are multiplied, this will become 16 minus 16.9 6, 8. And here we can see that if we subtract these two quantity, we can get something as 0.968. And obviously this quantity is less than 0. And very fortunately we have not to check all of these options. So we have got our imaginary. Which of the following has no real root? As these are MCQs, multiple choice, but answer is one of them. So we'll have no need to check any further. We have got the answer. The first one is the answer. That's all for this question and for this chapter.